President Trump has suggested that Huawei could be a factor in any trade deal between the US and China. How likely is that, do you think, from your perspective?
The
US has never bought products from us. Even if the US wants to buy our products in the future, I may not sell to them. There's no need for a negotiation. I will ignore Trump. Then, with whom can he negotiate? If he calls me, I may not answer. But he doesn't even have my number. I see his tweets and I think it's laughable because they're self-contradictory.
The list of companies that supply Huawei with components but also software that are now cutting off those supplies is growing. Of course, Qualcomm, Intel, ARM, Panasonic, Google as well. So I guess the question is, for how long can Huawei survive without those supplies of both components and software?
The US manages its own companies. The US is not the international police. They can't manage the whole world. The rest of the world decides whether they should work with us based on their own business interests and positions. If some companies don't want to work with us, it's like a hole in the airplane. We are working to fix the hole, but the airplane is still able to fly. Of the chips we've been using, half are from US companies and half we produce ourselves. If the US imposes further restrictions on us, we'll reduce our purchases from the US and use more of our own chips. If American companies have permission from Washington to sell to us, we'll continue to buy from them.
What exactly have you put in place in terms of contingencies?
We might have contingency plans for the core of the airplane, the engine and fuel tank, but we may not have a plan for the wings. We need to review the situation all over again and fix those problems. You can come back to interview us in 2 or 3 years to see if we still exist. If we're gone in 2 or 3 years, please remember to bring a flower and put it on our grave.
Well, you've talked about having a 2-year lead in terms of 5G on your competitors. Does that lead get eroded?
Definitely. If we slow down, it's because the wing of the airplane has lots of holes. If we fly slowly but others fly fast, of course they can catch us up. But we will keep fixing the holes. We will fly fast again once all the holes are fixed.
What extent of damage, how much damage do you expect to be felt in the consumer division of the business? So smartphones and laptops, which depend on US chips but also US software.
We might miss our expected growth target, but we are still growing. Being able to grow in the toughest battle environment, that just reflects how great we are.
And you had bragging rights earlier this year. You overtook Apple as the number 2 smartphone maker. You saw smartphone sales in the first quarter jump by about 50%. And of course, you do have that goal of becoming the number 1 smartphone maker in the world. Does that goal now have to be shelved?
We can become bigger or smaller. We are not a public company. We are not only pursuing growth or profit. It's good enough for us to just survive.
There have been calls by some in China for Beijing to retaliate against Apple. Is that an action that China should be looking at taking?
That will not happen, first of all. And second of all, if that happens, I'll be the first to protest. Apple is the world's leading company. If there was no Apple, there would be no mobile internet. If there was no Apple to help show us the world, we would not see the beauty of this world. Apple is my teacher. It's advancing in front of us. As a student, why should I oppose my teacher? I would never do that.
The critics of Huawei would say that you've got to where you are through intellectual property theft and government support. What is your response to that?
The
US has not developed that technology, so from where should I steal it? It's more likely that they steal our technology. Now we're leading the US. If we were behind, Trump wouldn't need to make so many efforts to attack us. He attacks us because we are now more advanced than them.